In today's video, we are going to talk about the experience of using the MacBook Pro 14 for the past 2 months. I got this one at release date, and it's been the most expensive laptop that I bought for the past 2 years. I bought it both to test it here on the channel, but also because I felt like Apple was finally stepping back into a good direction where I really enjoyed using the previous generation of MacBook Pros, and that was my main computer for so many years. Then when they started shifting to the only USB-C setup MacBook Pros, I shifted away and started using PCs instead. With this generation, with more ports and a really powerful CPU setup, I felt like it was time for me to try out a Mac computer again and see what I felt about it. And for most of this time, it has been such a pleasant experience. But for the past few days, I've started having some issues with the machine that I felt really needed to be brought up. So in this video, we're gonna go through both the pros of this laptop, which are many, and we're gonna go through the cons that I see and these issues that I've been having, because these actually might make or break my long-term use of this as my main unit. I'm W2Best, I make in-depth gear reviews and tutorials, and if you like this video after watching it, it would be super nice if you want to put a like on the video and maybe also subscribe to the channel. That gives me a ton of motivation to bring out new content moving forward, and I know that I've been a bit slow with releasing new content, and there are 2 reasons for that. Mainly, I've been working a ton with my digital marketing agency, and that has been taking up most of my time. But also, I have been using this laptop as my main driver, and I haven't been as excited to try out new devices because this has been filling most of the needs that I felt like I had for a laptop for using for all my different use cases. And the fact that I've been able to use it for all of my use cases, both when I'm in the office, but also when I'm on the go, has meant that it's been hard for me to get excited about other devices. This one has really been fulfilling most of my laptop needs, which is what I've been looking for pretty much since I started making laptop reviews on this channel. Let's talk about the main positive points of the MacBook Pro 14. There are quite a few that we're gonna need to get through here because this is a very well working laptop. The main pro is something that I've been mentioning several times, but it is how well this has been tying into my workflow. I use it both for office work, but also for video editing here for this channel. And when I'm video editing, the render times that I get out of this improves the workflow so much compared to using my different PC laptops that it just slays the competition. When I can make a 30-minute video and then render it in 5 minutes, I can render it, have a look through the video and see if there are any issues, and without any problem at all, re-render it if I feel like it. If that same process took me 20 minutes for the render time, and then looking through, and then have to re-render 20 minutes again, that completely disrupts the workflow and the efficiency of creating a video like this. The fact that I can also do that on the go, for example when I'm on the train going to Stockholm where I also live, is even more amazing. This has meant that I could be here in my office, record a video, and then load the footage over to the MacBook Pro, and then edit this footage when I'm on the train and be ready to publish it when I arrive in Stockholm. This has been just an amazing way for me to work with a combo of running a consultancy business and running a YouTube channel. And I can't stress enough that the battery life of this guy means that you can actually edit and render videos on the go. The next thing I would like to bring up as pro is the array of things that just work a bit better than in any other unit that I tried over the past few years. These are the speakers, the headphone jack, the microphone, the webcam, the screen, and the trackpad. All of these are quite a bit better than the competition, and having so many things that are better than the competitors just means that it is such an enjoyable experience to use this machine on a day-by-day basis. The things that disturb me don't disturb me anywhere near as much when all of these major points are ticked and ticked so well that I just like the experience of using it. The keyboard is a little bit of an in-between. I started liking it a bit more, but I still prefer having a little bit more travel distance on my keyboards. However, I got very comfortable on typing on it, I get up to a good speed, and I think the feedback of the keystrokes are good. They are not stiff, but I just feel like I would love to have even a little bit more of travel distance. I still prefer Lenovo's keyboards to this Apple keyboard. However though, when I'm in my office, I always type on this, which is a Keychron K6 mechanical keyboard. And I'm gonna put out a review of this guy in some weeks when I spent a little bit more time with it. But I feel like this mechanical keyboard in a very small form factor is great for the typing experience, but also for the looks of the desk setup. Another thing I would list as a pro is the experience of using macOS. I used to be a macOS user before, and then I switched to Windows, and I really came to appreciate Windows, and I even thought that it was better than the experience of using macOS. However, coming back to macOS has been very pleasant, and one of the things that I really appreciate with macOS, which might sound a little bit counterintuitive, but that is the fact that it's harder to play games on macOS. I don't want to game that much, and having Windows and a gaming capable laptop means that the games that I love playing are always accessible to me. And I have a little bit hard time to control how much I game, so having a main unit that doesn't allow me to game, and then having to bring out a specific gaming laptop when I want to game, is a better setup for me personally. I also think that macOS has been working really well for my different workflows in the office, and I really have nothing to complain about with the experience. It's been smooth and nice from day one, once I started getting back into using keyboard shortcuts, for example. But we need to get over to the cons of the laptop, especially the ones that have been coming up lately for me. I know that a lot of people will probably see this notch here in the display as a con. I did a little bit in the beginning, but then it hasn't been disturbing me that much, and especially since I set a dark theme on the laptop, and having the dark or black bar up top really makes the notch no issue at all. The issue that I have mentioned before is that there is no daisy chaining on macOS. So this means to be able to run multiple monitors, I need to use one of the USB-C ports for one of my monitors. Then I use the HDMI port for my other monitor. I actually started getting used to this, so I'm not super bothered by it anymore. I really wish it had a one cable connection for me, but now it's not there, and I'm starting to get used to plugging two cables instead of one. However, I started having some connectivity issues, which is something that disturbs me a lot more. This started out with connectivity issues with the Keychron keyboard, that the Bluetooth stopped working at random points and I had to restart the keyboard, but sometimes not even restarting the keyboard would work. I had to plug in the cable and use it in cable mode instead, which means that to be able to use my desk setup, I was gonna have to plug in one USB-C cable for a monitor, one HDMI cable for another monitor, and then a USB-C cable for using the keyboard. And this is a little bit too much for me when I flip a lot between a meeting room and my desk setup. So this is something that disturbed me a lot, and I haven't really found a solution for it. I'm still not sure if it's the problem of the keyboard or if it's the problem of the laptop. But still, this is something that I just think should be working. It has always been working for me with keyboard and mouse setups, and when it doesn't, it's just so annoying because it disrupts the flow of a workday quite a lot. Those are Bluetooth dropouts with the keyboard, but recently I also started experiencing some Wi-Fi dropouts, which has been showing itself when I'm in video meetings, which is a big part of my work now during the pandemic with the restrictions. So in a lot of the video meetings I've had during the past week, I have had people complaining that the video is freezing, that it's stuttering, that it doesn't really work at all with the sound quality of the laptop. So it seems like the Wi-Fi is capping, the Wi-Fi is cutting at some point, and these are Wi-Fi connections that have been working perfectly fine on other laptops that I've been using over years. I really don't see why this would be such a problem with the MacBook Pro 14. If the problem persists and I can't fix it, this is probably a make or break it for me. I can't have Wi-Fi cutting when I'm in a meeting with an important client. And the next con really ties into that as well, because that is about the webcam. Honestly, I think the webcam has been one of the big pros of this laptop. The quality is super nice. The microphones in combination with it are super nice. I almost felt like I could record YouTube videos with a webcam, which has never happened before. But during last week, I also started having issues with the webcam. So this started showing up in video meetings where the webcam would go black in the middle of a meeting and people just wouldn't see me at all. And now when I'm trying to fire up Photo Booth and starting to make a recording, this is what happens. It just freezes at this start frame and then nothing is happening. When I'm stopping the video, the webcam seems to work fine, but as soon as I want to start a recording, then it starts stuttering and freezes at that start frame. I thought maybe this could be because of storage issues, but I should have 200 gigabytes available on the SSD, so it really shouldn't be because of anything that is related to storage. The thing I hate about it is that I don't really know what to do with it. I've been keeping the OS up to date, I'm keeping my apps up to date, but still this is a problem that if it persists, the combination of Bluetooth dropouts, Wi-Fi dropouts and cuts, and the webcam cutting off in the middle of meetings is too annoying for me to accept. And if I start having these problems on a regular basis, I will have to switch over to some other laptop. So what would be those alternatives that I would switch to? The one I was using prior to this guy was the Lenovo Yoga Slim 7 Pro. And I think I could have gotten back to that one if it wasn't for the ridiculously bad battery power that it has. It really lasted me only like 3-4 hours at normal use, and that's really not even talking about video editing on the go. So I couldn't really go back to that guy. Then I have the Dell Inspiron 16 Plus, which I started using for doing the review here on the channel. And I like that device, so probably that would be the computer that I'm switching over to. This one has Windows 11, which I'm a little bit disturbed by, but I think I could get used to it and then start making some comparison videos between Windows 11 and Windows 10. This is not something I'm sure of. I will give this guy a few more weeks and see how it is working out. And then if I start transitioning over to the Dell or something else, I will for sure make an update video to let you know. It's a bit of a pity that I can't say that this has only been an amazing laptop to use, but for most of the time it has been, and it's only the last week that I had these issues. So let's really hope that this was something temporary, that this guy starts working as well as it has been before, and that I get some more super nice use time out of it. If you have any other questions about my 2 months of using the MacBook Pro 14, please let me know down in the comments section below. I am W2Best, I make in-depth gear reviews and tutorials, and I will see you in the next video. Have a really nice day, bye bye!